Hello, everyone. We're the Big Red SN guys alongside Jordan. I'm Wesley. We're here to discuss the postgame between UCA and Lamar. Now, Jordan and Lamar ended up on the wrong side of a 35-17 loss. A lot of turnovers, defensive blown, just got ran over by the UCA offense, and just Kate Hampton had another amazing game. Just wasn't enough today. What did we see?
We see, in essence, as Ray Woodard would describe, a repeat performance from last week's outing at Northwestern State. We were down 17 in that game. This game, we were down 18 at certain stretches, and it just didn't go our way. Like you mentioned, whether it's the ranked defense that we just didn't find. I mean, our front seven didn't do their best job at defending UCA. They carried the ball for over 67 times, well over 300 yards. And then in the passing game, they were able to get a couple looks that they needed, and they converted on third downs very well. So when you add all those up, the ending result is usually not one in your favor.
A big stat that stood out to me was Central Arkansas had nearly 40 minutes of possession of the ball. That just adds to your fact about the running game. And you could just see how just drained the Lamar defense was, and it was easy for them, for Central Arkansas, to just enforce their will on them. And the offense, Joe Minden, this is probably a game he's going to really want to forget. And 5 interceptions, 14 of 27. I mean, it was just not looking good. Add that to the fact a couple of his best receivers, Reggie Beggleton and Michael Handy, did not play at all in the second half.
Yeah, it was a very physical game. We knew that going in. UCA is one of the most physical teams on both sides of the ball that you'll play. Hence the 40 yards of possession time, with the running game really working out. But then on the defensive end, they hit very hard. I mean, they fly to the ball. They're a team that knows what they're doing. They prepared very well to play us here at home. And it showed. Michael Handy and Reggie Beggleton, unfortunately, did go down in the game and weren't able to return. But thankfully, those injuries don't seem like they'll be long-lasting, so they'll be here in the near future. But as far as Joe Minden goes in his performance, he was very, torn up about it, and as well as he should be. He didn't play his best game. It's not the end of the world for Lamar. We still have a valid chance in order to fight for a higher spot in the conference. But for him today, it gives him a lot to think about going home. I know, just as any other athlete would after having a tough game, you're going to replan all those interceptions in your mind as you go to bed. But the key is to move on to the next game, the next opportunity for the Cards, which is coming up soon as they head to Houston Baptist.
Yeah, and looking into the future, just what this team's morale, how they're feeling. They're down, they're out. This is 2 very bad losses to teams that that were very beatable. This was a winnable, very winnable game. The stakes were very high. Just Lamar, what do they need to do in order to get back on and just try to finish out the season strong, even if the playoff victory chances are just out the window?
Well, what they need to do, they need to come off the ball in the first quarter early. If you look at Northwestern State, and even in this game, the 2 things that are synonymous is dismal. I mean, that's the best way I can, really express it. A flat-out dud performance in the first half in those games. But in the second half, they competed. Tonight, we got behind early. But in the first half, rather, we got behind early. But in the second half, we scored the same amount of points they did. We have to start coming out with the energy level and with the intent to win. I think a lot of times we come out and we don't play our best ball for whatever reason. So I think if the coaching staff could address that going into Houston Baptist and furthermore during the season, and we could come out with that same intensity in the first half that we played with in the second, it can make the difference in the game.
And for the Cards' sake, you really do hope that they do, because HBU, they may be the young team in the conference, but they are no pushover. And Jordan and I will be previewing that game this coming Wednesday versus HBU on Halloween night. We'll see you then. Go Cards.